Welcome to the Farmish Kind of Life podcast, where we talk about homesteading stuff and life stuff and everything in between. Join me, Amy Dingman, as we explore big questions on a little farm. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Farmish Kind of Life podcast, where we talk about homesteading and we talk about life and we talk about just about anything we want to, just like some pals who are hanging out on the front porch. Thank you so much for coming back to chat with me today. If we were on the front porch right now, I would have so much to tell you. The first thing I would tell you is that yesterday, the furnace kicked on for the first time, which means we are heading into fall and getting closer to winter, and we're heading towards the time when we're going to get the outdoor wood boiler up and running. We have fuel oil as our backup, and that is what we run in the fall and in the spring when it's not quite efficient to be running the outdoor wood boiler, because that works best when it's like legit cold outside. So these days when it's like in the 40s and 50s and dropping into the 30s at night, we're just using the furnace, but we're going to get that outdoor wood boiler up and running. We have quite a few dead trees that came down this past spring in a couple storms, windstorms, and so we shouldn't have any issues with needing wood this year. We just have to figure out a time to go out and get it all cut up and stacked. So yeah, stay tuned about that. Something else I would tell you if we were sitting on the front porch right now, I would point, now imagine we're on the front porch here, I would point to this skeleton that I have hung up right outside the front door, right? This light up skeleton. He's got like a sheet over him. He's like a skeleton ghost, kind of. I don't know. And I can't tell you, I hung this guy up, I don't know, like last week sometime. And I can't tell you how many times I have looked out my front window or I have been going out the front door, and it scares the crap out of me, you guys. I think, oh my God, somebody's on the front step. Who's on the front step? Y'all, what's on the front step is a thing that I hung up. Like, I remember hanging it up, and I never remember that is a thing on the front step. Does this mean that I am getting old? That I don't remember that the thing that's out there that scared me the last 27 times is the same thing that scared me the last 27 times? Like, how? I don't get it. I'm the one who hung the dang thing out there. How do I not remember this? And if we were on the front porch right now, I would have to share with you an email that I got from a pal, a listener. And it's an email she sent me early one morning after she had listened to one of the episodes, one of the most recent episodes. And I'm going to tell you what, sometimes you all put things into words better than I can. Sometimes you pull stuff out at just like realizations and just really, really smart stuff that I didn't realize, or I haven't put together yet, or you just say it in a way that makes it different for me. And I asked this pal, can I share part of your email on the podcast? Because you made such a great point. And okay, so I'm going to share it, and then we'll get into this. Okay, so let's see, part of the email. All right, so we'll start here. Your other thoughts about simple life and how we blow it out of the water with all the bread making, the gardening, and all that. I've found I truly love the simple life, but let me tell you what that is for me. Where I am in this life right now is that I have a day job that causes me to travel about a week a month. This month, it's 2 weeks. This is time away from my family, away from my church, just away. But I'm good at what I do, and I do my best to make a difference in the work life for others while I'm here and do things that carry on. With that in mind, the simple life is playing in the dirt, chasing my chickens when I let them out in our big yard and they decide to venture to unsafe areas, having friends and family over for dinner and showing them all the things I'm growing or what's dying. You see, when I am outside, the sunshine seems to heal me, seems to give me comfort, seems to make me healthier. It's really noticeable when I have to spend days inside with little exposure to the sun, fresh air, antics of the animals, etc. Sometimes I feel crafty and will take it out on the patio to do just to be outside. Sometimes the bugs win the battle in my garden. Thank goodness I can run to the grocery store or my family might starve. Sometimes my chickens get old and I have to say goodbye. Sometimes I try and I fail. The simple life is not necessarily doing all the old-fashioned things the old way, but appreciating the things we have now, being thankful and content. I make bread when it spurs me. It's so yummy, but I don't try to make it from scratch. That's not always simple. I love my KitchenAid and rapid rise yeast. I can make a yummy loaf of French bread in an hour. Generations ago, they couldn't do that. Other times, my little family is on the run and McDonald's has to do. I'm thankful to be with my family and can do that. When I'm grateful for the things I have and can do and enjoy, the food tastes even better, the garden is prettier and brings me joy, the chicken antics make me laugh. God has blessed me and my family. That is the simple life. So I just love that email. I love how she explained what the simple life is for her, even though, there's chaos and even though everything isn't old-fashioned. I just love the insight that she shared with me. And we talked back and forth a little bit. And so I got thinking about that. And so today we're going to pull up a chair on the porch. We're going to grab our coffee. We're going to grab our common sense. We're going to do some thinking, which might be dangerous, I know. But we talk a lot about the simple life around here. It's kind of, when you think of homesteading, it's kind of like the tagline, right? I just want to live a simple life. That's what people say. But her email, and I've been wondering about this myself too, what do we actually mean by the simple life? What do we mean by that? Because if we're being honest, a lot of what we call simple is anything but, right? The other day, I was out in the barn and I'm doing chores and I'm trying to get everything done and I'm staring at all these animals. And it's different now because I have a job outside the home and I have my fingers in a lot of things that have nothing to do with the farm right now. And so going out to do chores and taking care of the stuff in the barn, it's a little different now, right? But we got to get it done. Okay, so I'm out there doing the things. Then that's when it hits me. And I talked about this a couple episodes ago, I think. I don't know, all the episodes run together, especially when I'm recording and trying to remember what it was that I said in which episode. But we all start out kind of wanting just a few chickens for eggs, right? And then it's a few more, and then you need a bigger coop, and then you're hatching your own chickens, and suddenly you're like this full-time egg dealer who's trying to get chores done at 7 a.m. when you're, before you're off doing all this other stuff. And I don't know how it works for you, but you see what I'm saying. And we call that simple living. But sometimes I think it's more like chaos with a rustic filter. Does anybody else feel that? Do you feel that? Because like my friend said in her email, somewhere along the way, the word simple got tangled up with the phrase old-fashioned, and they kind of became synonymous for some reason. And we decided that in order to live simply or live a simple life, we have to do everything the way our great-great-grandparents did. We got to grind that wheat. We got to make every single thing from scratch. We have to raise every animal we possibly can. We have to grow every single vegetable that existed ever in the whole world. But I don't think our great-great-grandparents were chasing the past. Kind of like, like we are. I feel like we're chasing the past. We're trying to get back to that. I don't think our great-great-grandparents were chasing the past. I think they were trying to get away from it. I don't think our great-great-grandparents were dreaming of hand-washing their laundry or milking cows at dawn or whatever else they were doing. I think they dreamed of running water, and I think they dreamed about washing clothes in a way that wasn't going to break their back. I think our great-great-grandparents worked their butts off so life wouldn't have to be so hard. And then here we are, voluntarily taking the long way around. Do you ever think about that? We say we want the simple life, but in this modern 2025 world, simple often means more work. It's like we're canning and we're baking and we're fermenting and we're building and we're gardening and we're raising and we're grinding, like we're auditioning for Pioneer Idol or something. And I can't help but think that the people we are trying to emulate would probably look at us and say, why are you doing all that when the grocery store is right down the road and you've got a car and you can drive to it and you can be there in 10 minutes? Like, why are you doing all this stuff? And listen, I get it. There is value in learning skills. There is value in self-sufficiency and knowing how to take care of yourself and having the really good food you raise yourself and all that. And I'm all for it. But sometimes I think we cross the line. We cross the line between living intentionally and just making ourselves miserable for no reason at all. And I think that maybe the simple life in 2025 isn't about doing things the old-fashioned way. I think maybe it's about using what we have wisely. I think it's about realizing what we have and what we have available to us and making use of that in a smart way. And maybe the simple life in 2025 is about balance. Maybe it's about learning when to knead the bread and when to buy it, or when to raise the chickens and when you maybe don't need to have that many chickens. It's knowing when to have the big garden and knowing that you're looking at the upcoming year and thinking, you know what, I don't even think we're going to have a garden next year because we're not going to be home hardly at all. So you know what, we're just not going to have a garden and it's going to be okay. That's me saying that, by the way. We'll see what happens if I actually don't have a garden next year. But y'all, we have talked about it. Next year is going to be absolutely crazy. We already know that. And so maybe a garden is not in the books for us. Maybe the simple life in 2025 is not about recreating the past. Maybe instead, it's about being present. How about that? I like that one. Let's say that again. Maybe the simple life isn't about trying to recreate the past. Maybe it's about actually being present where we are right now in 2025, in the lives that we're living. Because you know what? You can have the biggest garden. You can have the most beautifully organized pantry shelves. You can have the most lovely sourdough starter. And you know what? You can still be stressed out. You can still be tired. You can still be empty. And that is not simplicity. I don't know what it is, but it's not simplicity. When I think about simple now and like what that means to me, I think a lot about breathing room. Having a little bit of breathing room. I think about having fewer things on my plate, not more. I think about those things that are on my plate. I think a lot about what actually matters. What do I want on my plate? What needs to be on my plate right now? What matters on my plate right now? And what is stuff that just needs to get pushed off? And who cares? Who cares? When I think about simple now, I think about laughing with people that I love and not worrying if the floor has been swept. Right? I don't know. I think about, what else do I think about? I think about technology. And I think about letting technology help me where it can instead of fighting it. And instead of being anti-technology and being like, oh, if we're going to live this simple life, we can't, we have to basically be Amish, right? No, we don't. If you're not Amish, don't be Amish. You know what? The Amish are cool, probably. I don't know. But you guys, if you're not Amish, don't be Amish, okay? It's fine. When I think about simple in 2025, I think about knowing how to cook from scratch, right? Having that skill, knowing how to put together a meal from nothing or a meal from, everything that you've already got in your house and you're just, make this wonderful dinner from things you've raised. That's awesome, right? It's awesome. But I think simplicity in 2025 is also about not feeling guilty if supper comes from a box once in a while, or it comes from the gas station. We talked about that not long ago, right? When I feel like I ate at a gas station the entire time that my son was in the hospital because I did not care. I didn't care in the least. I don't think simple is about proving anything. I think simple is about peace. So maybe this whole time, when simplicity became the buzzword, I think maybe we were chasing the wrong thing. Maybe simple isn't in the sourdough. Maybe it's not in the wood stove. Maybe it's not in the homemade soap. Maybe it's in how we approach everything that we're doing. Maybe it's in the why behind what we choose to do. Because if the simple life and living the simple life has you exhausted or completely frazzled or super in debt trying to keep up with someone else's version of simple, the popular version of simple, whatever that is, that's not simple at all. That's just dressing up in a cute apron and I don't even know. But it's not simplicity. It's not. So I think we should all just take a breath. I think we should take a breath. I think we should look at the tools we have available to us. I think we should take some time to decide what simple means to you and what your simple looks like. And I think we just need to learn to let that be enough. It's different now. It's 2025. It's not 1850. It's not 1940. It's 2025, you guys. Simple is different. And the simple life has never been easy. And I know that that's the meme that goes around. The simple life is not easy. People confuse the simple life for the easy life. I get it. But you guys, what are we trying to prove? What are we trying to prove? That's what I've been thinking about. All right, y'all. That's what I got for you today. So thank you so much for coming to sit on the front porch with me today. And when you take off after we finish this coffee, don't let that skeleton scare you, okay? But I know it's going to scare me because I'm going to, once again, when I turn around to go back in the house, I will forget that he is there. Take care, you guys. Talk to you soon. Hope you enjoyed the show today. To continue the conversation, visit our website at afarmishkindoflife.com. Find A Farmish Kind of Life on social media or drop me an email at amy@afarmishkindoflife.com. Peace, love, and bacon, y'all. Stay farmish.